See, here's why coming to my YouTube channel is going to be superior to these other jabronis out there. They never show you the tough part. They say, oh, it was so easy, look at us go, beep, 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 here we got beer. This is what it takes to make real beer. What do you know, Henry? It's brew day, and I'm going to take you through all of the equipment that I'm going to need to brew my batch of beer. First, I've got the carboy. This is where the beer is going to do its fermenting. I've got 1, 2 pots. I've got sanitizer, very important. I've got a hose, a measuring cup. I've got my brew bag to hold all the grain. I've got my thermometer to make sure we get a nice accurate temperature. I have my gravity meter so we can figure out how much alcohol will be in the beer. I've got my suction doodad for moving the beer from one vessel to another. I've got what's very important, a giant spoon. Henry, you want to take the spoon? Here, you take the spoon. Right there. You got it? He's got the spoon. So here I have all my ingredients that I'm going to use. I have pre-milled and pre-mixed grain. I have 11 pounds worth. We're going to be doing a 5.5 gallon brew, and you need 2 pounds of grain per gallon. Next, I have my hops. 2 varieties of Chinook hops and Citra hops. Next most important part of brewing beer is drinking beer. First step is to rinse and sanitize all of our equipment. It's vital we sanitize everything because unwanted bacteria will convert our malts into funky other products that we don't want. Gotta rinse these hoes! As you do. Don't want to slosh it out too much. Just want to get the sides. My sanitizer. Sterile. There's nothing wrong with sterilizing the sink a little bit while we're here. This one's been sitting in the basement, so it's a little dusty as well. Doing such a poor job. Oh, that's pretty good. I'll take it. Good. So we've got this handy brew bag that holds all the grain, and we've clipped it on the sides, and also our thermometer is ready to go. What we want to do is get this water to 170 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we will add our grain. Alright, we've got our temperature up to 170 degrees, so it's time to add our grain. Let me cut that tip off. Try not to spill it all over the floor, and here we go. One, and number 2. Alright, it looks like we can add some more water to this after I get my big spoon and push all this grain down into the water. Oh yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Alright, so due to my pot not quite being big enough for the 5.5 gallon batch, we've got to add a second pot of boiling water. And when we go ahead and strain this grain, we're going to pour this water through it to remove all of the delicious sugars that will become our beer. So we've now been steeping our grain for 1 hour to create our wort. What we need to do is take this big heavy dude and put him down in the sink. There it is. So now we're going to pull the bag out, strain the water, and then fill it back up again using our boiled water.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just getting
See my vest. See my vest made from real gorilla chest.
Hi.
And up we go.
You. How are you? You're very more attentive today.
Yeah.
Hi. Hi. Hello. Hi.
It's hot. It's hot.
Sit on that
Well,
side.
can you grab this tab and the other tab so that we've got 4 hands holding this? Oh yeah, that's way better. Oh, thank you.
Right, shall I just...
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so now start pouring it through. Thank you, Graham.
We're gonna have to take a break though in a second.
You're dripping. That was Trevor.
Who's dripping?
Guys, take it seriously. Yeah, you're ripping. Oh no!
Oh, that's you. That's on you.
That was on me.
Come on, Eric, take this seriously.
Okay,
Be able to plop it down in here now. 1, 2. There. Okay.
Oh, the muscles. So this part of the process is probably not as efficient as it could be. Ow. Oh, there we go. Now we're straining. Here we go.
We got beer yet?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Right up to the screws. I have to get out of the way.
Okay. Don't hurt your back.
Let's put you back in the jogging motion. Louder.
You didn't do it.
Don't try this in the bedroom. That extra potent juice out of there.
Oh yeah. Slap it.
Our pot has come to a boil, so it's time to add our first hops, which are going to create a bittering effect to balance out with the sugars of the grain. That's why we use the hops. We're going to put the Chinook hops in right at the very start. In they go. That's 1 ounce of Chinook hops. Wow. I put the hops in and all the head just settled down. That's amazing. So let's stir that bad boy right in there. Oh yeah. We've made it halfway through the boil, half an hour in, and we're going to add our 2nd ounce of Chinook hops for flavoring. Look at the little bits coming up here. Oh. Beautiful. Alright, so now I'm preparing a nice cool water bath for the beer because we want to lower the temperature of it as quickly as we can so we don't grow any unwanted bacteria before we put our yeast in. Check that vortex!
Why are we doing this?
Oh yeah.
Well, we're actually trying to cool the temperature down a little faster by vigorous aeration. We're almost ready for the last step.
You got that? Good rinse. Take 2.
Wonderful. All right, so now our beer. Steve keeps laughing. You're laughing in the shot. Well, yeah, okay.
Stand over here.
All right. All right. The beer has cooled effectively down to a temperature that we can pitch the yeast into it. So we're going to take this auto siphon to drain this beer into the carboy down here. Pump it up. And it should eventually take over and pump on its own.
Getting old.
Super exciting watching the pot fill. We're going to take our Citra hops and dry hop this beer where it doesn't get boiled at all, and this will add a aroma.
It's pretty gross, actually.
Little tiny smelly turds. We're ready to add our yeast, which will ferment this beer to produce alcohol and carbon dioxide. Then we're going to go ahead and fasten the air escape valve so that no air comes in and the carbon dioxide has somewhere to go. Otherwise, it will explode.
Shake and knead pouch
Does
to homogenize the slurry.
Oh. I guess you should read the instructions before you do things like this. I guess I could use a spoon. Don't do it this way. Read the directions first. Yeah, it's relatively homogenized.
Yeasty.
But to make sure I don't miss as we pitch this here yeast. Definitely need to get all that sludge in there. Okay.
Those moves.
Spoon man. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Smooth process, maybe a little less than we normally get, but
I think the quality will be higher overall. More flavor per beer.
and we didn't test the gravity, so you know, oops. Brewing day is always a great day. As you can see, I've brought the carboy down here to the basement, and I've set up our air locking system, which is this rubber stopper with a hole in it, and our hose that goes all the way down here to my lovely jug of water. You see, the yeast ferments the sugars from the barley and other grains into alcohol and carbon dioxide. The alcohol will stay in the liquid, but the carbon dioxide becomes gaseous, and if not released in such a manner, it would explode this here carboy. In 2 weeks, we will take this here beer and transfer it into our bottles. So we'll show you the process of how to clean all the bottles, how to get the beer into the bottles, and how to create the carbon dioxide bubbly effect that you get when you open the bottles. And that concludes part 1 of my brewing journey. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel so you can get part 2. And go take a look at all my other material. I've had a great year farming and constructing and having a baby. Thanks everybody. Goodbye.